Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Boosted Auto Pro Bono Short Clips. My name Labala here and kama kawa kama kalenda unajua venye si ufanya. Today tuko kwenye karakana ama ukipenda kwenye workshop yetu hapa kama kawaida venye si ufanya video zetu, and we're going to bring you something new from the videos that we've done before. It is something that is disturbing technicians out there and maybe the car owners sometimes. Watu wanataka kufanyanga DIY. Siku hizi kila mtu ni vyema uweze kuona zile vitu unaweza jifanyia, kama ni vitu ndogo unaweza jifanyia. Like the one we're going to bring to you today ni kitu yenye a simple procedure yenye you can just do it from your home or from wherever you are, whether be it on the road, be it your home, lakini it's just a simple procedure. Today we are going to do throttle cleaning and relearning at the same time. The throttle relearning, it has a procedure and you have to follow, otherwise you will have a lot of problems, especially with your car idling. So welcome. Before you handle anything on your drive-by-wire throttle, you have to disconnect the battery terminal. Drive-by-wire ni ile the throttle that we are dealing with today. Ni ile throttle yenye you depend on a sensor from the accelerator pedal to the throttle itself for it to vary the angle. Ile ingine ya kitambo inaitwa drive-by cable. Drive-by cable ni ile unaweza accelerate. You used to see kitambo watu wana accelerate gari kutoka hapa mbele. Some cars still come with that, especially in Subaru, the STIs, they are fond of that. But any other car in Subaru has manufactured from the year 2003 onwards, this type of throttle, which is normally known as the drive-by wire. So before you work on it, you have to disconnect the battery terminal so that at least like 5 minutes prior, battery terminal iko disconnected like we've done here. Then you'll go to your throttle. Before we get there, we have to understand the circumstances under which one may want to work on their throttle. There are two. One, sometimes it is normal battery ya gari kuisha, ama umetoa battery yako jumpstart mtu, ama umetoa battery, you want to replace the plugs. For Subaru, this side we want to replace plugs kama tumetoa battery terminal. So mara mob ukirudisha, you will have difficulties with idling. I'm sure so many people have experienced that. Maybe ulitoa terminal ama battery yako iliisha ikaenda flat, umejumpstartiwa, you start having problems with idling. At that juncture, you may want to get a throttle relearn. Relearn is just telling it how to respond to your throttle. Hiyo ni one. Another circumstance under which you may want to work on your throttle ni saa zile imechafuka. Maybe you've been driving through dusty weather conditions. Now you have started noticing laxity in throttle response, or umeona gari yako iko na issue na idling. You are having erratic idling out of nowhere. You've not touched anything on the battery, na just suddenly gari yako imeanza kuwa na issue with idling. Last but si common sana, sometimes when you plug in the diagnostic machine in some of these cars. For Subarus, it's so much fond with the SG5s and some of the BPs. You plug in a diagnostic machine ama scan tool, umeweka kwa gari, umejaribu ku read faults, umerez, gari inaanza kupata shida na idling. So mara mobu you have to relearn the throttle. So tumemalizana, umesha disconnect battery, now you go to the throttle. We had already unbolted it from the main housing. So here is our throttle. In this case, tunaona it is very dirty, as you can see. There is a line somewhere along ndani hapo kidogo, just towards the edge, huko mwisho. Hapo ndio throttle inafaa ilale. So huku ni pande ya mbele, mahali kutoka kwa air cleaner, you can see brown. Alafu nyuma, this is now from the throttle towards the engine side. Hapa unaona iko black. It is so sooty. The main thing why we wash our throttle haikuangi ni sababu ya hii uchafu tunaona iko hapa kando. Of course hapa huwa kumefunga, so there is nothing here. Hii tu ni the housing. But we wash this throttle because hapa kwa the edge, on the edge, you see on the edge here, these edges. Sasa zile soot imeingia, huwa if you look at the edge, huko edges there is a new layer. Alafu pia kwa walls, on the walls huko kando, when you look at it, there is also another layer that has grown. So when this thing is closed, when the flap is fully closed, it is not going to close fully. Na hapa because it is going to read that it is with the vehicle inajua it is closed, but now hapa readings zenye tunapata hapa is not fully closed. So this car is going to have problems, especially with idling. Mara mingi this throttle is going to have problems with idling. So you remove it like this. Mara mingi watu wataosha ikiwa pale, but the most sufficient way of cleaning it is just unbolting it and removing it like this. So we are going to clean this, of course, off the camera, because there are so many methods of cleaning it. Some people will use different chemical X to clean, but in our case, because the chemical X that we're going to use is not paid, has not paid for promo on this video, we are going to clean it in camera, they say off the camera, kwa ule mtu wa kawaida mwenye labda sasa kizungu inakuwa ni challenge, but in camera, yani away from the camera, we're going to clean it, then we shall come up ikiwa clean, we bolt it, then we see I take you through how we're going to relearn it. Thank you. Yes, this is the same throttle body that we had. Don't worry about the way I pronounce the word throttle. Naongeaga haraka, so inaweza tokea throttle, lakini it is the throttle body that we had initially. Looks like it's a different one, but tumeiosha safi. We've used our own chemical X that has not paid for the video. So this is the way it's supposed to look. I hope my cameraman can be able to zoom in this so that you see how clean it is. Like that, both sides. Looks like new. So tunaenda kuifunga, then we start the throttle relearning procedure, which is where now everything lies. So kindly follow us through the video as we do the relearning. Thank you. Now we've finished, everything has been reassembled back. Now we are ready to carry on the procedure. Point number one, I'm here with my key, the car key with me here, with one reason. We do not want to put back the terminal kumbe gari iko on. Mtu alikuwa ameacha key ndani na gari iko on. It will make our procedure to fail instantly, just even before we begin. So the procedure is you put back the terminal and then wait for like between 5 to 10 seconds. I'll tell you why. The terminal is back. Yes, so as we wait, I'll explain. We're putting back the terminal so that the voltage can be assumed back into the vehicle ECU and all other parameters. But I'm having the key so that I don't put back na kumbe huko nyuma the car is on. Number two, all the electrical components kwa hii gari they're supposed to be completely off. Radio, lights, hazard, if you had left any, they're supposed to be off. Alafu nobody should step on the brake pedal because pia ita consume some power from our battery voltage. So the 10 to 15 seconds inapea our throttle flap to get some current and know the voltage of the battery before it starts learning. Even though some guys may argue wanasema gari ijakuwa on, gari ni tofauti, but in this case this is the procedure. Then from there I'm assuming tumemaliza hizo 15 seconds. I'll give out the key now. Second step is to put the car on, only on without starting the car. Then utasikia the throttle will try to relearn and get the actual position where it's supposed to be in on position. Kindly put the car on. You can hear all that. So that chucking and movement, nasikia that sound. The throttle is trying to relearn where it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to start the vehicle directly. If you start the car directly, then the throttle will fail to understand where it's supposed to be at idle. So saizi, we're supposed to take at least 5 minutes. You're supposed to put on that throttle like that for 5 minutes. Unfortunately, the car we're using today, to our headers, I'm sorry, I was supposed to use a live vehicle, but for now, this vehicle is not fully live. So we're not going to go through the procedure step by step, but I'll explain it to you. So once we've finished idling, once we've finished putting on the car for like between 8 to 10 minutes, we switch it off. We switch it off again, then we wait for like 5 seconds, then we start the car. Sikia sasa inaendelea. Imemaliza. You've just heard that. Imemaliza. Now there is no more sound. We are at like around 5 minutes. Lakini sasa sauti imeenda. The throttle has finished hiyo procedure yake ya kujaribu kulearn where it is supposed to be, na saizi imenyamaza. So at this time, if this vehicle was live, tunge switch off. Kindly switch the car off, because the throttle has finished learning. So after switching off for another 5 minutes, we shall now start the vehicle. Kindly listen to me, because the vehicle, we cannot start it. Second phase, after the vehicle has finished relearning, we start the car. Then you let the car to idle for 10 minutes. You start the car without stepping on the accelerator pedal. The only time you are allowed to step to drain power from the car, because it's an automatic car, you'll step on the brake pedal for it to be able to actuate the starter inhibitor switch. So you'll start the car, then you let the car idle without touching anything. Don't step on the brake again once the vehicle has started. You will just ensure that the vehicle is idling. The car will be in idle mode completely for like 10 minutes. Once the 10 minutes has elapsed, you will switch off the car. You will switch off the car. Point to note, at all this time, the vehicle electrical accessories, all of them are supposed to be off. Even the AC, it is supposed to be off. Even the radio is supposed to be off. Sorry for that. Tuko karibu na kiwanja ya ndege, so utaelewa tu. So after you switched off the car, you wait for another 5 seconds. Then you start the car. Then let it idle again for the second time. You let it idle again for the second time. Remember, you have finished the first idling. Then you let the car idle again for the second time, 8 to 10 minutes. Then you switch off. Now, the third time of starting the vehicle, you will start, then drive off. You will drive for like around 8 to 10 kilometers. Remember, our numbers are revolving 5 seconds to 10 seconds, 8 minutes to 10 minutes. Now we're going to drive the car 8 kilometers to 10 kilometers, normal driving. Do not take off uanze kurace na watu uanze ku overtake. No, just drive kawaida, so that the throttle learns how you are accelerating, because you are teaching the throttle. You are making it learn how to pick the acceleration. So accelerate gently, so that the throttle takes with you the response at the pedal. Drive for 8 to 10 kilometers, then switch off the car, then start again. Now you can start driving aggressively. At that time, by the time you are finishing to start driving aggressively, your throttle will have learned the position, off position. Pole kohoni. The throttle will have learned the off position. The throttle will have learned the idle position. The throttle will have learned the throttle response as per the percentage acceleration. How you accelerate, the throttle will respond to that. And whenever you leave the throttle, it will go back to the idle position, even if the vehicle is still moving or running. So it will know, if the car is moving, I'm supposed to be at this so that the car does not go off. If the car is stationary, I'm supposed to close fully so that the car can idle. If the car has been switched off and the engine is on position, not completely off, it is just switched on, I will be able to idle at this position. So that is the procedure of doing all these things, so that your vehicle does not stall. Failure to do this, your car will always stall whenever you get to a break, whenever you come to a bump, whenever you try to slow down, itashinda ikizima. This has been the case in a lot of guys when they change battery, a lot of guys when you wamejaribu kutampa ama kuosha throttle without knowing how to get it back to the way it's supposed to do. Also, like we had in the intro, it has been the case sometimes when you plug in the diagnostic machine, mtu anakuambia gari yangu haikuwa na shida ya idling, so nimekuja tu uniangalilie, umeweka machine, what is the problem? It is as simple as this. You can do it by yourself if you know the correct chemical X to use, like we said in the beginning. If you know the correct chemical X, you can use so many substances, by the way. Point to note, hiyo ni electrical circuit iko pale, avoid kuosha na maji. All other chemical X zenye unajua you can handle na hiyo uweze kuosha na ikuwe safi, they are applicable as long as they have been certified. So until next time, that has been that. My name is Labala, like you've heard from the intro or like you know me, and it has been Boosted Auto Pro Bono short clips. Until next week when we bring you other videos, kindly, if you love what we are doing, if you feel it should get to as many people out there as possible, kindly like, subscribe, share, comment, so that we can get to as many people as possible. And if you feel like there is something we're supposed to talk about in our Pro Bono short clips, kindly just inbox us or write on the comment section. We shall be happy to serve you every Thursday. You'll get us from all angles of automobile. Thank you. Until next time, see ya.